8.6, solving rational equations. Algebra 2, and you must note, you must check your answers. Just like with absolute value equations and rational equations, or excuse me, radical equations, you had to check your answers for extraneous values. You must do the same thing with this, okay? Um, Notice it says equations, so anytime it's equations, there's going to be equals in your answer, so you're actually going to solve it. All right, so to solve the rational equations, you must find the LCD. Make equivalent fractions, and then you're going to solve the numerator for the variable. So what's the nice thing about this is when you have that equal sign in there, you're going to get the LCD and take care of that. And then you're just going to worry about the top. The denominator you don't have to worry with at all until you want to check your answers, okay? All right, so looking at this, I have a 6 on the bottom and a 12 on the bottom. So my LCD is obviously 12. Now, when you have a very simple rational expression, rational equation here, you can cross multiply and solve. It's where you have the more complicated ones where there's more than one thing going on that you can't. So this one would be one where you could cross multiply because this is just simply a proportion. Now when you do cross multiply, you need to multiply 6 times all of this and 12 times all of that. Okay, and you'll get, let me do it as if I was going to do a proportion, and I'll show you the way that I set up on the screen. That would be 12 times 3 minus x. Does that equal 6? 6 minus x. Right? When you multiply, you're going to get 36 minus 12x. Does that equal 36 minus 6x? Okay? So when we subtract and move things around, you're going to get, subtract 36. Okay, that's gone over there and that's gone over there. So now I have negative 12x equals negative 6x. Okay, so when I divide one side or the other, does not matter. I'm going to divide by negative 12. X is going to be, well, we'd have to, wait a minute, back up. I'm doing this wrong. Back up. Should combine like terms. I don't know why. I've lost my mind. All right, let's go back. I have negative 12x equals negative 6x. I need to combine like terms. So I'm going to add 6 and add 6. That's going to give me a negative 6x equals 0. When I divide, I'm going to get x is equal to 0. You need to check your answer in your equation. So I would go back up here where there's an x, everywhere there's an x, and plug it in. 3 minus 0 is 3. 3 over 6 is what you're left with. 6 minus 0 is 6. 6 over 12 is what you're left with. 3 6, does that equal 6 12? Well, that simplifies to 1 half, and that simplifies to 1 half, so yes, that is true. If it's a true statement, then that is an answer, one of your solutions. If it is not, then it is an extraneous answer. So once you have the denominator the same, don't have to worry with it if you're not doing this cross multiplying method. It has to be a very simple proportion in order to cross multiply. Let me make that statement very clear. This is a very simple problem. You will have some where you don't have such simple problems, and you'll see that in just a minute. All right, so once we've got this done, now if I was going to find the LCD, okay, I would then multiply, if I was going to do it that way, the 6 needs to be made into a 12, so I need to multiply this side by 2 over 2, which will make 12 on the bottom and 2 times 3x minus 6. This is the step right here. And then this side, I didn't have to do anything because the 12 is already my LCD. So I then set this equal to each other and solve it. Just totally get rid of the denominator when you're solving it. you still need to plug it in to your equation at the end with the denominator. Okay, please make sure you understand that. All right, so when I plug this in, I end up getting x is 0. I plug it back in, and yes, it checks out to be true. Okay, so when you finish and get an answer, you go back up here, plug it into your problem. 3 minus 0 is 3. 3 divided by 6 is 1/2. 6 minus 0 is 6. 6 divided by 12 is 1/2. That makes a true statement. So you plug it back in and continue to use, because there's some of these problems, the x's are going to be on the bottom too. All right, so please be aware you have to go back and plug into the original equation. Okay? All right, let's go to a more complicated problem. All right, so now you have addition going on over here. Okay, and you have it all set equal to this. Well, we need to find out what the LCD is. All right, so of course there's factoring involved, because you can see this is a quadratic equation that is not simplified. All right, so the signs are going to be the same because of the plus in the back. They're both going to be negative because they're negative in the front. We say factors of 8 that add to be 6. Well, that's 4 and 2. Okay, so this is now marked through. We don't need to look at that anymore. All right, so over here I have x minus 4, x minus 2. Here I have x minus 4. Here I have x minus 2. So x minus 4, x minus 2 is going to be my LCD. Okay? That being the case, then I need to look at each fraction individually and say, okay, what do I need to do to make x minus 2 look like the LCD? Well, I need an x minus 4, so I multiply the top by x minus 4. You can't see that. X minus 4. Okay? Now, look at the second fraction. I have an x minus 4. What do I need to make it look like the LCD? I need an x minus 2, so I multiply the top by x minus 2. Then over here, I have the LCD, so I don't have to do anything over here. So then I can just forget about the bottoms right now and just simply solve the top for x. So I set x minus 4 times x plus 1 times x minus 2. Does that equal 2? I distribute, I get x squared minus 4x plus x minus 2. When I distribute, put it all together, equals 2. Now you're going to combine like terms and put it in descending order. X squared minus 3x minus 4 looks like factoring. It is. So you make your factors and see what that becomes. Factors of 4 that subtract to be 3 are negative 4 and positive 1. Set those equal to 0, and you will get your solutions to be 4 and negative 1. Now, you must check your answers. You must plug each one of those back into the original equation, okay? I would go back up here and plug it in just like you see it. Everywhere there's an x. So you can see there are x's all over the place. You're going to be working with fractions and then fractions, and does that equal this one? Okay, so I'm going to plug in 4. And as you can see, I've done that down here. 4 over 4 minus 2. 4 over 4 minus 2, well, that's 4 over 2, which is 2. Okay, that becomes 2. 1 over 4 minus 4, or 4 minus 4 is 0, so that's 1 over 0, which we know you can't do. Okay, and then this is 2 over 4 squared minus 6 times 4 plus 8. That happens to be 16 minus 16 minus 24 plus 8. And when you put all that into your calculator, that becomes 0. So does 2, because when you add these two together, that's all you have is 2. 2 equal 2 divided by 0, which we know you can't do. No, that is not true, so x equals 4 does not work. Now you go back and try negative 1. You plug in negative 1, and you're going to get negative 1 over negative 1 and negative 2 make a negative 3, so that's 1/3. Okay, and then you're going to get 1 over negative 5, which is 1/5, but it's negative, negative 1/5. Okay, and then you get this over here, which will become 2 over, and you plug in your negative 1. Be careful when you're plugging in things, because if it's a negative, it makes a difference if you don't use parentheses. So this will become 15. So this becomes 1/3 minus 1/5. Does that equal 2/15? And when you check that, it does work. So only solution that worked was x is negative 1. Now I'm going to tell you, on an SOL, they are going to have the answer like this, the answer like this, the answer like this, okay? Because they know that students are get somewhat tired or lazy and don't check their answers, all right? While you solved it and you got the correct solutions, that doesn't mean it's a solution to the equation. It means you solved it correctly, all right? So you must plug them back in. Notice how they have this. You know, if you were to pick negative 1/4, you would get it wrong, even though this is the answer, but because you did not check your answers, you would get it wrong. So especially if they have two solutions, you need to check both of those to see if they are either one of them or both of them are extraneous. That could happen also. Both of them could be extraneous and not have a solution at all. Okay, so please, please, please check your answers into the original equation. And yes, it's a little tedious, but thankfully you have those calculators and it'll do it for you. Okay, make sure when you're plugging in fractions into your calculator, you use parentheses, math enter, enter, so you can simplify them. Okay, and we will practice in class. If you have any questions, come see me.